Here's a number most Canadians on a $50,000 salary have never actually sat down and calculated. After federal tax, Ontario provincial tax, CPP contributions, and EI premiums, a Canadian earning $50,000 in Ontario in 2026 takes home approximately $38,850 per year. That's $3,237 per month. According to the Canadian median income data for 2026, the median income in Canada is expected to be between $50,000 and $52,000, making this salary not a low income. It's exactly what most Canadians earn. It is the middle of the country. Now here's the question this video is going to answer. Can you actually build meaningful wealth on $3,237 a month take home? The answer, backed entirely by math, is yes, but not by doing what most Canadians do with that money. Many Canadian households are asset-rich but cash-poor, with substantial portions of their wealth tied up in real estate or long-term investments that couldn't easily be accessed to cover immediate expenses. The ones who build real wealth aren't earning dramatically more. They are running a fundamentally different system with the same dollars everyone else has. Here's what that system looks like. Built specifically for a $50,000 Canadian dollar salary, using the exact accounts and tools available to you right now. By the end of this video, you will have a 5-step wealth-building framework that starts this month on the income you already earn, using the tax-sheltered accounts the Canadian government built specifically for this purpose. Before any strategy, let's get the numbers on the table. Because building wealth on $50,000 requires knowing exactly what you have to work with after every obligation is met. A $50,000 salary in Ontario after federal tax, provincial tax, CPP, and EI leaves approximately $38,850 per year, or $3,237 per month in take-home pay. Here's where that $3,237 typically goes for the average single Canadian. That's the uncomfortable reality. On a $50,000 Ontario salary, after basic living costs, most Canadians are left with near zero margin before any lifestyle spending. And yet, here's what makes this video important. The math of compound interest does not require a large margin. It requires a consistent one. XEQT and VEQT both delivered identical 20.45% returns in 2025 with automatic rebalancing, meaning the investment vehicle itself isn't the problem. The problem is not having the system in place to direct even a small, consistent amount toward it. On a $75,000 salary in Ontario, estimated annual take-home pay is approximately $56,486, about $4,707 per month after all deductions. That's the income level where margin becomes meaningfully easier. At $50,000, margin has to be engineered, not found. That engineering is exactly what this video is about. Your action step: write down your actual monthly take-home pay and your actual monthly fixed expenses right now. The gap between them, however small, is your starting point. That number is not your limitation. It is your launch pad. Before we get to the system, we need to name the 3 forces that silently destroy wealth-building potential on a $50,000 salary, because you cannot fix what you haven't identified. Wealth Killer 1. Lifestyle. Inflation on a tight budget. Lifestyle inflation doesn't only happen to high earners, it happens on every income level. It just looks different. On a $50,000 salary, it looks like upgrading from a used car to a financed one when you get a small raise, swapping a $60 phone plan for a $95 one because it includes more data, adding a subscription here, upgrading a streaming package there. Each decision is small. The cumulative effect over 12 months is hundreds, sometimes thousands, of dollars that never makes it to savings. Canadian households redirected cash flow toward debt servicing rather than consumption or savings in 2025 to 2026, meaning even households trying to manage well were losing margin to cost creep. Wealth Killer 2. High-interest debt. The Credit Counseling Society's 2026 Consumer Debt Report found that 52% of Canadians pay only slightly above the minimum on their credit card balances. On a $50,000 salary, carrying even a modest $3,000 credit card balance at 19.99% to 22.99% interest costs, approximately $600 to $700 per year in pure interest charges. Money that generates zero return, zero asset, zero future value. That's $600 to $700 per year invested in an S&P 500 ETF inside a TFSA at 8% annual return over 30 years becomes approximately $75,000. Paid to a credit card instead, it becomes nothing. Wealth Killer 3. Holding savings in cash. Instead of investing, TFSAs aren't savings accounts. They're tax-free investment vehicles where your contribution room expands permanently with successful investments. And yet, the most common TFSA mistake in Canada is treating them exactly like a savings account. According to financial planning data, the majority of Canadians with TFSAs hold cash or GICs inside them, earning 2% to 3.5% in an environment where a low-cost S&P 500 ETF has historically returned 8% to 10% annually. On a $20,000 TFSA balance held for 20 years. At 3%, cash/GIC, $36,122. At 8%, S&P 500 ETF, $93,219. Same account, same tax shelter, same $20,000, $57,097 difference from what you hold inside it. Your action step: audit your TFSA right now. If it holds cash or a low-interest GIC, you are paying an invisible opportunity cost every single day it stays there. Here's the part most people on a $50,000 salary have never seen, because nobody shows them this math. Compound interest is not about the size of your salary. It is about the percentage of your salary that goes to work, and how long it stays working. Let's run the numbers for a Canadian earning $50,000, taking home $3,237 per month in Ontario, investing at a conservative 8% annual return inside a TFSA, fully tax-free. Scenario A, the national average approach. Savings rate, 4.4%. The Canadian household savings rate in Q4 2025 was 4.4%, according to Statistics Canada. On $50,000 gross income, that's $2,200 per year, or approximately $183 per month going to savings. $183 per month at 8% over 30 years, $275,000. Scenario D, the 20% approach. $50,000 gross times 20% equals $10,000 per year, equals approximately $833 per month invested. $833 per month at 8% over 30 years, $1,253,000. All projections at 8% average annual return. Inside TFSA, 100% tax-free. Look at the difference between 4.4% and 20%. The national average produces $275,000 in 30 years. The 20% approach, saving an additional $650 per month compared to the national average, produces $1,253,000, nearly 5 times more wealth, from the same $50,000 salary. And critically, the $7,000 annual TFSA limit is well within the 20% target on a $50,000 salary. Every dollar of that $10,000 per year saved can be sheltered inside a TFSA, completely tax-free forever. One fund ETF portfolios, XEQT, VEQT, can eliminate the guesswork. Both delivered identical 20.45% returns in 2025 with automatic rebalancing. The fee savings alone compound to hundreds of thousands over a lifetime. Your action step? Pick your target savings rate right now. Write it down. It doesn't have to be 20% on day one. It has to be higher than 4.4%. And it has to be automated. Here's where the Canadian system becomes a genuine advantage for someone earning $50,000. Because 3 registered accounts exist specifically to make wealth building more tax efficient at this income level. And most Canadians on $50,000 are dramatically underusing all 3. The TFSA, your most powerful wealth building tool. The TFSA 2026 annual contribution limit is $7,000, confirmed by the CRA on December 1, 2025. A TFSA allows you to contribute up to $7,000 during 2026, plus any contribution room from previous years. A person who has been eligible for a TFSA since its inception in 2009 would therefore have a contribution limit of $109,000 in 2026. At a $50,000 salary, investing 15% of gross income equals $7,500 per year, your entire annual wealth-building contribution fits almost perfectly inside your TFSA's annual limit. Every dollar of growth, capital gains, dividends, interest, is completely tax-free. Forever. At the 20% savings rate, $10,000 per year, you max your $7,000 TFSA and have $3,000 remaining for an RRSP contribution. The RRSP, a tax refund on top of your savings. For 2026, the RRSP dollar cap is set to rise to $33,810, while the TFSA annual limit stays at $7,000. At $50,000 income in Ontario, your combined marginal rate on the next dollar earned is approximately 29.65%. Every dollar you contribute to an RRSP reduces your taxable income by that dollar, generating a refund of approximately 30 cents on every dollar contributed. On a $3,000 RRSP contribution, approximately $890 back as a tax refund. That refund, invested immediately into your TFSA, compounds tax-free from that moment forward. Over 30 years at 8%, that single $890 refund becomes approximately $8,960 inside your TFSA from 1 year's RRSP contribution refund. The FHSA, double tax advantage for first-time buyers. If you're a first-time home buyer, the FHSA allows contributions of $8,000 per year to a lifetime maximum of $40,000. Contributions are tax-deductible, like an RRSP. Withdrawals for a qualifying home purchase are tax-free, like a TFSA. At $50,000 income, a full $8,000 FHSA contribution generates a refund of approximately $2,400. Tax-deductible going in, tax-free coming out. There is no more tax-efficient savings vehicle available to eligible Canadians. The priority order on a $50,000 salary. 1. Step 1. Build a 3-month emergency fund in a high-interest savings account. EQ Bank, Wealth Simple Cash, 3 to 4.5%. 2. Step 2. Max the FHSA if eligible, $8,000 per year, double tax advantage. 3. Step 3. Max the TFSA, $7,000 per year, 2026. All growth tax-free forever. 4. Step 4. Add to RRSP, especially powerful for every dollar above $55,000 income. 5. Step 5. Hold a low-cost S&P 500E TF inside all three. Your action step? Log into CRA My Account and check your TFSA room. If you haven't contributed $7,000 for 2026, every dollar you put in today grows tax-free from this moment forward on a salary where every tax advantage matters. Here it is, the 5-step system. And here's what's important to understand before we go through it. This is not a system that requires more income. It is a system that requires a different structure around the income you already have. Every step can begin this month. Every step costs $0 to set up. The only input required is the decision and the automation that makes sure you never have to decide again. Step 1. Build your emergency fund. First, 3 months of expenses. Before a single dollar goes to investments, you need a base that prevents you from having to sell investments at the wrong time. 3 months of core expenses on a $50,000 Ontario salary equals approximately $8,700 to $9,800. Park this in a high-interest savings account at EQ Bank or Wealth Simple Cash, currently earning 3% to 4.5%, not at a major bank earning 0.01%. At 4% on $9,000, that's $360 per year in interest earned on your emergency fund, not zero. This step is not optional. Without it, the first unexpected expense forces you to liquidate investments, disrupting compounding at the worst possible time. Step 2. Eliminate any high-interest debt before investing. Paying off a 20% credit card balance is a guaranteed 20% return. There is no investment, not even the S&P 500 in its best years, that offers a guaranteed 20% return. Eliminating high-interest debt before investing is not a conservative choice. It is the highest return move available. Once eliminated, cut up the card if necessary, or commit to paying the full balance every single month. A zero-balance credit card, used strategically for rewards, costs the bank money. A revolving credit card balance at 20% costs you everything. Step 3. Automate your TFSA contribution on payday. Set up an automatic transfer to your TFSA on the day your paycheck arrives. Not the day after, not when you've covered the bills. The day of. Before your brain has a chance to rationalize spending it. On a $50,000 salary, targeting a 15% savings rate. $625 per month automated into your TFSA. The TFSA is one of Canada's most powerful tools for building wealth. The annual contribution limit is $7,000, and unused room carries forward indefinitely. $625 per month at 8% over 30 years equals $939,000. Tax-free. Step 4. Invest in one low-cost S&P 500 ETF. Inside your TFSA, one low-cost, globally diversified ETF. One fund ETF portfolios like XEQT or VEQT can eliminate the guesswork. No stock picking, no market timing, no complicated rebalancing. Automatic. consistent. Low cost at 0.09% to 0.20% MER. Set up recurring monthly purchases through Wealth Simple Trade or Questrade. Both offer commission-free ETF trading. The purchase happens automatically after your paycheck arrives and transfers to your TFSA. You don't have to think about it again. Step 5. Increase your contribution rate every year by 50% of every raise. This is the multiplier. Every time your salary increases by 3%, 4%, 5%, immediately increase your automated TFSA contribution by 50% of the after-tax raise. On a 3.5% raise from $50,000 to $51,750. After-tax improvement of approximately $900 per year, $75 per month. Increase your TFSA automated transfer by $37 per month. Your lifestyle improved by $38. Your wealth building improved by $37. Done consistently over 10 to 15 years, this step-up transforms a $625 per month contribution at 25 into $900 to $1,000 per month by 35, without ever feeling like a sacrifice. Your action step: set up all 5 steps this week. The total time, approximately 2 hours. Open a TFSA at Wealthsimple or Questrade. Buy XEQT or VEQT. Set up an automatic monthly purchase. Set a calendar reminder for your next pay review to step up the contribution. Done. Let's run 2 complete 30-year pictures side by side. Same $50,000 starting salary. Same 3.5% annual raises. Different systems. Without the system, Canadian A saves at the national average of 4.4% of gross income. Holds savings in a big bank savings account at 1% interest. Carries a $3,000 rotating credit card balance at 20%. Never engages meaningfully with the TFSA or RRSP. At age 55, 30 years later. Portfolio value, approximately $68,000 to $90,000. Credit card interest paid over 30 years, approximately $18,000 to $21,000. Gone permanently. Retirement trajectory, entirely dependent on CPP, $925.35 per month average, and OAS, $742.31 per month, a combined $1,667.66 per month that doesn't cover rent in most Ontario cities. With the system, Canadian B eliminates credit card debt in year 1, builds a 3-month emergency fund, automates 15% of gross income into their TFSA from month 1, invests in a low-cost S&P 500 ETF at 8% average annual return, steps up the contribution by 50% of every raise. At age 55, same 30 years. Portfolio value, approximately $939,000 to $1,200,000, tax-free. Credit card interest paid, $0. At 55, portfolio generating approximately $75,000 to $96,000 per year in growth at 8%, without touching the principal. Retirement trajectory. TFSA portfolio supplementing CPP and OAS, potential total retirement income of $95,000 plus per year. Same $50,000 starting salary. Same 30 years. The difference between the two outcomes is not income. It is the system applied in year 1. And here's the closing number. The average salary in Canada in 2026 is approximately $64,000 to $65,000. meaning most Canadians reading this earn more than $50,000. If the system works at $50,000, it works even more powerfully at $60,000, $70,000, $80,000. The income was never the limiting factor. Let's come back to where we started. $50,000 salary, $3,237 per month take-home in Ontario after every deduction. Most Canadians look at that number and see the limitation. The system in this video turns it into a launch pad. Here's what the 5 steps do to $3,237 per month. $625 automated to TFSA on payday. 15% of gross income. $0 to credit card interest. Eliminated in year 1. $0 in bank mutual fund MER waste. You hold a 0.20% ETF, not a 2.5% bank fund. $360 per year earned on your emergency fund at 4% instead of 0.01%. $625 per month compounding at 8% for 30 years. $939,000. Tax-free. The median income in Canada is between $50,000 and $52,000. This is the exact salary most Canadians earn. And what this video proves, with math, not motivation, is that this salary is enough. Not enough to be careless. Not enough to skip the system. But enough, with the right structure, the right accounts, and consistent automation, to build nearly $1 million in tax-free wealth by retirement. The 5 steps don't require more income. They require a decision this week. Step 1. Build the emergency fund. Step 2. Eliminate the high-interest debt. Step 3. Automate the TFSA contribution on payday. Step 4. Buy one low-cost S&P 500 ETF inside the TFSA. Step 5. Increase the contribution by 50% of every raise. That's it. That's the system. 2 hours to set up. 30 years to compound. The income was never the problem.